Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast, number 117, coming from you live after Portugal made it third place, one of the top four third place teams. And yeah, we'll get right into it. But starting off with my panel, starting with my main man, Steph. Steph, what's going on, bro?
Woo! I'm feeling better because what a tough game today against the world champs. But we pulled it off, and that's all that matters. Now, the next opponent will be Belgium Sunday, 3 p.m. our time, and I believe 8 p.m. Sam's time in the UK. And it's not so bad. If we finished in second, I think we would have played England, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then in first place would have been Switzerland. So all top-notch team. So I'll take it. I'm okay with Belgium at 3 p.m. I think we could overcome them. But we'll talk about that. Very excited. I'm glad Ronaldo beat another record. At least he tied the record.
Tied it, yeah.
109 goals for his national team. So that's fucking amazing. Nobody was counting on that. He's got 5 scores altogether. The top scorer of the Europa League. So that's phenomenal. E vamos a isso, meu. Vamos a isso.
Facts. And also joined by my main man, Sam. Sam, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Got the new shirt on. Got it for my birthday. Turned 22 on Monday.
Yeah.
So I've got Ronaldo on the back, but I can't turn around. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into it. But 2 great teams today and 2 great teams the last time we played as well. I mean, the quality of this tournament, I think, has been fantastic. So I'm looking forward to speaking out with you guys.
Facts. So let's jump right into the before we get into today's game. I don't want to talk too much about it, but we got to talk about Portugal, Germany. Portugal did lose 4-2, but scored 4 goals. How does that make sense, guys? Starting 11 was Rui Patricio in net. We had Rafael Guerreiro, Ruben Dias, who both scored goals this game. Pep and Nelson Smith on the back line. We had Jota, William, Danilo, Bruno Fernandes, and Bernardo, with Ronaldo leading the line. Steph, I'll start it off with you first, dude. What were your thoughts on this 4-2 loss to Germany?
We deserve to lose. There's nothing I can say. I was looking for the lineup, and now you have it on the screen. Even better, easier. There's only one person to blame. Fernando Santos. Joaquim Low tactically deu-lhe like we say in the Portuguese, gíria, bem de bola. He prepared the game better. And he saw that Nuno Mendes and Rafael Guerreiro, they were unprotected. That Diogo Jota and Bernardo Silva were basically told, hey, you can navigate waters up front. Don't worry about the back. And Germany had a field day. They used and abused the back of Nuno Smith and Rafael Guerreiro, and I don't blame them. I do not blame Smith and Guerreiro at all. Diogo Jota and Bernardo Silva didn't help them, and I don't blame Bernardo Silva and Diogo Jota either, because this were instructions given by Fernando Santos. He failed with the tactic against the German. He thought he could go toe-to-toe against them. And then the German said, ha, are you kidding me? You really want to go toe-to-toe with us? And we couldn't keep up with them. And shame on Fernando Santos. And, it's when you make mistakes and you learn from them, it's good. Because we're human beings and we will make mistakes. And the tendency is to learn from these mistakes and evolve and get better. And against France, we have to kind of correlate both games together. We saw the changes, and we saw that Bernardo Silva and Diogo Jota, they helped a lot more Smith and Guerreiro, and it was a big difference. And I was having this conversation on the DM on Twitter with Patrick Couto, and we both agreed that it was not Smith's fault. If you don't know how to follow a soccer game, if you don't know how to read a soccer game, if you're the typical, I'm sorry to say this, but the typical fan that you only see what you want to see, then you would blame Smith and Guerreiro. It's easy targets. But then if you see the tactic that was imposed by Fernando Santos, you would see right away, what the hell? Bernardo Silva and Diogo Jota didn't support them at all. And then Danilo and William Carvalho didn't drop towards the middle. So you saw Smith divided and great a lot of times towards the middle and unprotected on their 6. And then when you stop and think, you tell yourself, is it the player's fault? And then you realize, no, it's not. It's actually the coach that told them to play this way. So shame on Fernando Santos. Today, much better against France, and we'll talk about that. Much, much, much better. I think the only one that sucked in that party in that game was the referee, to tell the truth. But coming back to the game against Germany, they deserve to win. They exploit our weaknesses, and we didn't adjust it. I mean, we suffered 1 goal, no adjustment. We suffered the 2nd goal, no adjustment. We suffered the 3rd, 4th goal, no adjustment. I was like, what the hell is Fernando Santos waiting for? Epá, o gajo deve estar bêbado. That's what I was thinking. I was like, why is he not telling Bernardo Silva and Diogo Jota to support Guerreiro and Semedo? Or to tell, Danilo, but Danilo can only do so much as trinco, a defender, a defensive midfielder. And William Carvalho was more focused in playing offensively. But I agree, he shouldn't even be playing. He shouldn't have been even included in this Euro at all. William Carvalho shouldn't even be playing in this Euro. Shouldn't at all. He doesn't play for Betis. Mas por caralho é que ele foi convocado? Seriously, it's not because he screwed Sporting. It has nothing to do with that. It's logic. He's not in his top, the peak of his career. He's not performing well at Betis. Why would you call him when we have a lot more players in the sub-20, under-21 team that could perform better? I mean, I would have played Potts instead of him, to tell the truth. But I'm glad that he didn't play against France. But to wrap it up against Germany, we deserve to lose. Germany played much better. Congratulations to Joachim Low, because he set up the team. He was able, him and his coaching staff were able to study Portugal really well. They saw our weaknesses. They saw how Fernando Santos liked to play. And I just don't get it why it took Fernando Santos so long. I don't think he ever adjusted the team. And that's why we suffered 4 goals. And, congratulations to Germany. That game, it belonged to them. And 4-2, it could have been 6-2. Or let's say 6-3, because Renato Santos had a great kick against the post. But, that's all I have to say. Muito pobre do Fernando Santos. Cagou no anzol.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed. How about you, Sam?
Yeah, I agree with everything Steph said there. I'm not going to reiterate his point too much, but Germany were going to come into this game looking for a win. They lost to France and they need every point they can get, and a win pretty much will secure them into the next round. So I don't know why Fernando Santos thought William and Danilo and soaking up pressure would be the best way forward. Like Steph said, Nelson Semedo was an easy scapegoat, but it was Pepe's positioning, Ruben Dias' positioning that led to those goals. And Germany were fantastic. Gnabry, Muller, Gossens are some of the best in their league. Gnabry and Muller obviously play for Bayern Munich, and we all know how good they are. So I don't think it was such a surprise that we lost, but I think it was just in the manner we did, scoring 2 on goals. Ruben Dias has looked shaky the whole tournament, as Guerrero. I'm not really sure if we've had anyone stand out in the defence or midfield, and maybe until today, but obviously we'll get into that in a bit. But I think Fernando Santos got this all wrong, and the loss is 100% on him. If you look at that team, you look at Germany's team, you can see why we lost the way we did. And I think even no matter what happens this tournament, I think this has got to be Fernando Santos last, just because this is a golden generation when you look at it. We've got Renato Sanchez, Palhinha, Pot, Ruben Dias, Cancelo, who's obviously not there, but even like Pedro Neto, but he's ruining these players by going so defensive and soaking up the pressure. look at Bruno Fernandes. You can say that he's not been well, but if you look at him, if you look at the team, then how is Bruno supposed to play well in that sort of formation? Him and Bernardo Silva are so restricted. But I think fair play to Germany. They took advantage of the weakness and 100% the deserved winners there.
Yeah, facts. I just want to also, on that same point that Steph brought up earlier and that you also brought up now, we looked a lot better when Danilo finally dropped into the third center back. It could just be like, I think by then it was already 4-1 when we brought on Danilo in the back line. I could be wrong. It could have been 3-1 by then, but we at least looked a lot more solid with him back there, which, you know, like you guys were saying, it was stopping that gap, because similar to what Steph was saying, it's not Nelson Semedo's fault because for the second goal, because if he covers in, the player out wide gets the ball. If he goes out wide, the player inside then gets the ball, and it's even closer to our net. So either way there, you know, Rafa should be tracking back, or Bernardo, I can't remember which one it was. Danilo or William should be in that position as well to stop the cross from going in, or at least stop the guy from the front post. So yeah, it's easy to say it was Nelson Semedo, but when looking upon it again, wasn't necessarily him. I don't know how much you guys want to talk about this one, but how much do you think we're missing João Cancelo, especially in this game against Germany? I thought João Cancelo was a huge factor that we were missing going forward in the counterattacks, and even defending. I think he's a lot better than Nelson Semedo. I don't know what you guys have to say about that.
Yeah,
I mean, the João Cancelo would have been. I don't know. I think he would have been caught in the same dilemma because it wouldn't matter, because the problem was the tactic that Fernandes imposed. Maybe it would matter in one or two plays, you know, crosses and so on. But that specific game against Germany, you could have had the best right fullback in the whole world with that tactic, and you wouldn't succeed. It's that simple. It's that simple. But João Cancelo would be important. I like him personally. It doesn't matter that they came from the Benfica youth. He's a great player. Tem grande pulmão. But you know, pulmão mean, you know, he can last a long game.
Yeah.
But the you know, he got the COVID-19 and he couldn't make it, and that sucks because Semedo is going to get exhausted. But Dalot today, he showed composure, and the reason why I like him in a game like Belgium, because he's tall. He's taller than Semedo, so corner kicks and stuff like that. I think he's going to be a nice addition.
Just to add to that as well, I don't think Semedo's too bad going forward. So like, he's not as good as Cancelo, obviously, but if you look at today, Nelson Semedo going forward, he was actually okay. I mean, he's not the best, like not as good as Cancelo is, but I don't think that's where we lack. It's more of the actual defensive structure of the team in sort of, I don't know, because I don't think, like Steph said, if you put any right back there, if you put like Javier Zanetti or any prime right back, they're still going to fail just because the tactics of the squad isn't up to standards. So, but I do think we will miss Cancelo, and I think that will become evident later on in the group stage, in the knockout stages. Sorry.
Yeah, especially because Semedo is not going to last every single game. I mean, assuming that we win against Belgium and then we'll go on with the bracket, he's going to be exhausted.
The way he landed today, I thought it was like a ligament injury. He could be out for the whole tournament, which leaves us with one right back. He got to come off straight away. So
yeah,
it could be that not stuck with. That's a bit harsh, but the third choice centre back in Diogo Dalot.
Yep.
Yeah, true. Facts. And yeah, the only other thing, but we can mention it on the France game as well. I think our attackers have also been lacking. Jota, I think wasn't too bad this game, but first against Hungary he was horrible. Today he was lacking. I didn't see much of him. Bruno, of course, that's another one that everybody's talking about. And that's the last topic I want to talk about this game before we move on to France. Bruno deserved to be dropped. Sam, I'll start this one with you. Like, how have you seen Bruno's Euro so far?
Yeah, 100% dropped. And I will credit Fernando Santos for doing so, because Bruno Fernandes is one of those players who has that sort of ego to play every game. And I think the way he's been playing, he shouldn't be able to to just automatically be in the side just on name. And I think the slander is that he never performs in big games. So I think he should have been dropped. I would love to see Pop playing more, but he chose someone else. So I think he should have been dropped. Steph, you agree?
Yeah, of course, I do agree. I think Danny froze. There's internet connection from Canada with Mr. Roger sucks. No, I totally agree. He deserved to be dropped, and it just shows that the Premier League is a very competitive league. You could see he's exhausted. Playing at Manchester United, it's not an easy tasker. And then he had all those League Cups, Europa League Cups on top of it. Then you had the English Cup on top of it. So it's been a lot of games, and now he's showing that he's exhausted. And Fernando Santos, as the coach, he has to be the one realizing that and saying, hey, I need some fresh legs. This is not the time to play tic-tac-toe. And I do need the best, players available at 100% that can give me everything I need in Portugal. So for Bruno Fernandes being dropped was a good choice. And sometimes players coming off the bench, it gives them an extra spark and they perform better. And in this case today, Bruno Fernandes was okay, but about Jota and Bernardo Silva, the reason why they didn't shine so much today, because they had to worry about playing defense. So when you play more defense than when your role is playing defense and offensively, you're gonna be exhausted, quite faster, and that's why I think happened to Jota and Bernardo Silva. But I'd rather be it that way. I'd rather see Bernardo Silva and Jota, Bernardo Silva helping Semedo and Jota helping Guerreiro, because today was phenomenal against France, and we'll talk about that.
Facts. And let's get right into that. Let me just throw up the lineup right here. So we started with Rui Patricio in net, Rafael Guerreiro, Ruben Dias, Pep, and Nelson Smith in the back line. Renato Sanches got the start. Danilo in midfield again. João Moutinho got the start. And then the same front three with Jota, Ronaldo, and Bernardo, with Palhinha coming off the bench, our Sporting boy. Bruno Fernandes coming off the bench. Ruben Neves, Diogo Dalot, and Sergio Oliveira. The France lineup was Lloris in net, Kouande at left back, Varane, Kimpembe, and Hernandez following that back line, and then Tolisso, Pogba, Kanté in midfield with Griezmann, Benzema, and Mbappe basically up top, with substitutions of Rabiot, Coman, Sissoko, and Digne. Sam, I'll start this one off first with you. What were your thoughts on this game?
It was a very good game from a neutral and for a sort of our perspective as well. I think, to be fair, that first half, I thought we were all over France. We looked confident. The new shape of the team, dropping William and Moutinho. As much as I don't like Moutinho, I thought he was very good in the first half. I just think we were dominating them, and then I think the penalty decision, which was never a penalty, by the way, just ruined the whole sort of tempo of the game. And just to add to that, I hope Danilo's okay. That did look quite nasty, and I hope he's fine. We've seen collisions happen like that before, like Raul Jimenez and David Luiz, and Ryan Mason for Hull as well. That those can take a toll on someone's body. So I hope he's okay. But in terms of overall performance of the game, I think I do believe that we could have won that. And again, it's sort of Fernando Santos' fault as well. I know France are the world champions, and I don't think it's fair to pin everything on Fernando Santos, but Ruben Dias and Pepe's positioning on Benzema's goal was awful. And me and Danny were talking about it before it come online, that Ruben Dias is the Premier League Player of the Year. He might not have the midfield he has in front of him for City than for Portugal, but he should be much better at keeping his players. A great pass from Pogba, don't get me wrong, but I just think the defensive shape for them two has been pretty bad the whole tournament. and you can blame Fernando Santos, but at the end of the day, it's them two have to take responsibility for it. I thought Nelson Semedo had a better game. Still a bit shaky defensively, but when you have to man mark Mbappe, you're going to get skinned quite a few times. I don't care who you are. Mbappe is just fantastic. Didn't have the best game today, but I just think Ronaldo as well, you can call him Penaldo, you can call him whatever you want, but it takes composure to score those. And he never looked for a second he was going to miss. If you look at the replays, he's confident. He's got the fans cheering him on. He just knew that he was going to score. And I hate this man, but Rui Patricio today was absolutely incredible. Those two saves he made after the Pogba shot and the Griezmann shot, it reminds me so much of when he was in Euro 2016 and he saved the shot from Griezmann. I think it's a statue now in his hometown, but he was just fantastic. And I don't blame any of the goals for Patricio. Penalty is obviously 50-50, and the Benzema goal was a great finish. But when I look at that team, Renato Sanchez, I have to give man of the match. What an incredible player. He might have been someone that I didn't rate when he first left Benfica, went to Bayern and Swansea, but I think he's matured now. He's so good, by far the best player on the pitch. Palhinha come on as well, was fantastic. I think Bruno Fernandes again, he come on, gave the ball away twice, 3 times, passed the ball out of play once, nearly gave away a penalty. I just think maybe he needs to sit for a full 90 minutes. I feel if we're losing, I guess it makes sense to bring him on. I can't remember if we were losing when he come on. I think we might have been.
I think we were tied still 2-2. But at that time,
Yeah,
I think Hungary was beating Germany. I think.
Yeah. But one thing more I'll say about it is the substitutions that Fernando Santos makes. Palhinha was a good sub, but Sergio Oliveira, I just don't get how he gets minutes. And that'll obviously come on for an injury. But Sergio Oliveira and Ruben Neves, I don't know if those are the best. I know we had to shut up shop because we were trying to play for the point, but I just think, I was going to mention this last game as well. When you have Pot, who is the top scorer of the Liga NOS, but you bring in Rafa instead when you need a goal, just doesn't make sense to me. I get Rafa's fast, and maybe he has some skills that Pot doesn't, but Pot is a guaranteed goal. I know it's different playing style, different plays you're playing against, but I just think Pot should have been given a chance, if not in the Germany game, in this game. Jota was invisible today. I didn't think he did much, and I think it would have been a great swap. But again, great game. I feel like that was one of the games of the tournament so far. Very evenly matched. I think first half we dominated. Second half France did take over a little bit, but a great performance all round, I think. And on to the next game, which is Belgium. So hopefully we can recreate a performance like that against them.
Facts. Quick question for you before passing off to Steph in terms of the substitutions. Instead of Jota, would you have maybe even Felix next game, seeing as Jota hasn't really had maybe the same effect as Bruno? Like, they haven't really had a great Euro.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And that's another one I don't really get. Felix has not played a single minute. We've needed goals quite a few times, and I don't know if there's an injury there or if Felix isn't good in training. I'm not the manager, but there's got to be something underlying issue with that, because we've needed goals, and he's bring on Rafa. Like I said, he's fast, but what else does he do? He didn't have a great campaign in the league for Benfica this year.
Yeah.
You could have made the case for having someone like a Trincao or someone else. I know Pedro Neto probably would have taken that spot if he didn't have the injury. But I think you've got to give Felix and Pot minutes instead of players like Sergio Oliveira. I guess Ruben Neves I can sort of understand because he's a good midfielder, but Sergio Oliveira, I just didn't get that one at all. But I think it needs to be Pot or Felix starting next game for the All-Shot.
Fair enough. Take it away, Steph.
Okay, so everything Sam said, I totally agree at 100%. I'm not going to change much. The only thing about today's game was that really sucked was the referee. The referee was calling PKs way too easily. The first PK is a PK. That's a no-brainer. Oh, actually, both PKs of Portugal are PKs, and I'm not saying this because I come from a Portuguese family. It would be too, convenient. But the French PK, it's a bullshit PK. And for me, as Sportingista, it would be extremely easy to say, a culpa de Semedo foi o jogador que foi feito no Benfica. No,
No.
has nothing to do with that at all, at all. Semedo didn't even do much for him to throw himself on the pitch the way he did. I give it to my bet. Now I know what he's going to do when he retires. He's going to be a movie star. Because that was really a bullshit PK. I never seen such a bad PK. The football game is a contact sport, and Smith going like this a little bit. I mean, the intensity was very minimum. I mean, I saw the replay like 10 times. I was like, what kind of fucking PK is that? Why is the referee calling this a PK? But he did. But I don't blame Smith at all. So I would give -5 to this referee. About
Quick
the game.
question: did the ref go look at the footage, or was it just VAR that gave? Well, I know he initially gave it, but did he after look at the
No,
footage?
he didn't
No.
look at the
At
footage
all?
once this game. Not a
No,
single time.
no. He
Clown.
trusted the VAR. But that's the
Wow.
way it's supposed to be. Have you watched the Premier League
Fair.
game? The Premier League games, I mean,
They don't
rarely-
even
No.
yeah, at all.
they totally trust the VAR, and I get it. Unless it's a PK, I think they have to go check the PKs. But most of the time in the Premier League, they totally trust the VAR, which I like that, by the way, because you don't waste as much time. But the game itself, I mean, a great performance, like Sam said, from Renato Sanches. I love the intensity. I love the muscle he brings to the midfield. I just think him and Pelinha, they will be lethal together, because they both in top performance, of their career. They both really want it, como a gente diz em português, com fome de bola. And it'll be foolish of Fernando Santos not playing both of them together in the next game against Belgium. You have two players with a lot of legs, fresh legs. They really want it. They want to show the whole world they're great players. Renato Sanches was always a great player. I think he was sold from Benfica way too early, but I get it why they sold it, because it was a lot of money. But the player was affected with that deal because it took him a couple more years to show his potential, because now he's one of the best players in that position as a midfielder. So him and Pelinha, that would be my two elected players for the game against Belgium, which they are also very physical. And why not? Look at today, the second half, when Pelinha came in to replace Danilo, which he got a pretty nasty punch from Laurie. I hope he's doing well. You could see how refreshing he was, how confident he was with the long passes, in controlling the ball, in passing the ball, in winning those 50-50 balls. So him and Sanchez, actually, the chemistry was really awesome, really awesome. So if Fernando Sanchez didn't see that, it will bother me, really, especially because the game is so close. It's Sunday. Moutinho is a great player, even though he's a great player, but he can only last 45 minutes, maybe top 60. And everybody knows that, including him. So you have to think about an alternative for Moutinho around the 60 minutes. Okay, he's going to give me solid 45 minutes because he has great vision. But after that, my man is 34 years old, or 36, 34, 36, around that area. So, he's going to get exhausted because he plays in the midfield position, which requires a lot of mileage. So you have to from the get-go, eu vou ter que substituir João Moutinho. So know it from the get-go. And I agree with Sam as well about Ruben Dias, and I'll include in the package Pep, because in that play from Karim Benzema, one of the greatest strikers in the whole world, he caught them by surprise. I think Pep was like, oh, Ruben Dias got him. And I think Ruben Dias looked at Pep, he was like, Pep's got him. And you know what? Got who? Karim Benzema got both of them because he scored the goal and it could have been the winning goal. Thank goodness it wasn't. But hopefully they learn from this experience. But to me, it's a lack of those two center backs not playing together the whole year, not knowing each other that well. I think it's a lack of communication, if you ask me, my personal opinion. I'm not an expert, but it looked like Ruben Dias and Pep really trusted each other too much in that specific play, and they totally missed it. And then Karim Benzema smelled blood, and he said, you know what? I got both of you because you're not talking to each other. And bang, and he scored, and great goal by Karim Benzema. Besides that, I thought Smith was great. Diogo Jota and Bernardo Silva, they finally did what they're supposed to do in the 21st century of a modern football player, which is also to play defense. You don't get to play only offensively. That's only Cristiano Ronaldo. And, and even Cristiano Ronaldo today was dropping up to the midfield and playing a lot more defensive. So great adjustment by Fernando Santos. He did learn from his mistakes against Germany. And that's why we didn't lose today, because we adjusted quite fine. But I would have played with Pedinho from the beginning, with Renato Sanches. And I'm not really concerned about if Dalot plays instead of Semedo. The only concern I have is if Dalot gets hurt, now who's going to play? That's my concern. Because if Semedo is really hurt, like Sam said, it could be a ligament problem. Now who's going to play? Nunes should be good to go for Belgium, hopefully, because Guerreiro looks a little bit beat, out of gas. So we could, use him to refresh the left wing. But we shall see. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to stay. Rui Patricio is going to stay. Pep Ruben Dias is going to stay. They just need to communicate a little bit better among each other. But I would like to see Guerreiro being substituted by Nunes if he's good to go. And Smith, if he's hurt, Dalot, I trust him. I like him. He's a good player. Moutinho, I would start him again with Sanchez and Pelinha. I would go with that. And then we'll talk about the potential lineup against Belgium. I guess that's going to be
no. Keep going, Steph. What about your top three? I just want to bring up, because you mentioned Pelinha. I just want to bring up this one play from him.
Yeah,
which is
phenomenal. Maratinha. Aí está, tuno. Yeah.
Just have to bring that up, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about your top three? What about your front three? Would you keep Jota, Bernardo, and Ronaldo, which essentially Fernando Santos has? Or would you change that up a bit too? Like I mentioned, maybe Felix, maybe Pot, Rafa. He against Hungary, he came in and did something. Forgetting who else maybe on the bench too. Andre Silva. There's options.
Andre Silva, it's to replace Ronaldo, or to take away Jota or Bernardo Silva, to put another strike inside the box, because now we're losing the game. We need to score a goal, and then you put two strikes inside the box. So the only time Andre Silva will come into the pitch will be either if Ronaldo comes out, which is not going to happen. Let's be honest.
Hopefully.
Or
unless it's injury.
Or if if we're losing and Fernando Santos has to remove, in this case, Bernardo Silva or Jota, and then o Chuveirinho, it starts putting balls inside the box to score, to overcome the negative result. João Felix, I like him, but the problem is he has to play defense against Belgium. Tudo ou nada. If you want to, I would put the best fit players on the pitch, because when you make the national team, means that we have the best of the very best, exception for William Carvalho. He shouldn't be there at all. I don't even know why he was called. Até não joga no Betis, que está a jogar pelo meio da tabela da Espanha. Why would he play the national team? E não pai for Espírito Santo. Amen. Anyway, I would definitely, I don't want to take all the time in our podcast, but I would definitely. Jota played better defensively today. That's why you didn't see him as much playing offensively. I want people to realize that. That's why he didn't shine so much. And then Bernardo Silva, the same thing. So if João Felix comes in and he plays defensively as well to support Guerreiro, because usually he plays on the left, I believe. O João Felix, or joga mais na direita?
João Felix, I think he's more left-sided, but comes in on his right foot, basically.
Got it.
If I'm not mistaken.
So if Fernando talks to him and says, "Hey, I'm going to put you in, but you're going to have to play defensively, and you're going to have to support Guerreiro or Smith or Dalot or Nunes, then I'll put you on, but you're going to have to give me 100%." And it should be just like, Kim Patins and ball and futsal. When they exhausted, they tell the coach, "Hey, preciso de uma substituição." If he tire you, you need to tell your coach, because we allowed how many 5 substitutions.
Yep.
So let's do it. Let's use the 5 substitutions. And, that's the changes I would make, definitely. And I would give a chance to Pot. 23 goals. It must mean something.
Yeah. Honestly. And I don't want to take him off per se or have him starting over Bernardo, but today maybe Bernardo had a much better game. Maybe that, like Sam mentioned earlier, it has something to do with Bruno not being on, so Bernardo has a bit more space to operate. But I haven't been impressed at all with Bernardo as well. A lot less with Bruno. Don't get me wrong. I think the Bruno criticisms are valid and deserved. Even today, he came on, he was a mess.
Yeah,
I don't know. He was scared to be on the ball. Like Sam said, he could have given away a penalty. Should have maybe even given away a penalty.
He's exhausted, bro.
He's exhausted. Of course, his back must hurt from carrying Manchester United and Sporting for two and a half, 3 years now. So I don't blame him for being exhausted. I just think if that's the case, yes, I hope he doesn't start as well. I actually agree 1,000% with your lineup for next game. I think maybe just Moutinho. I would honestly start Sergio Oliveira. I know Sam was getting on him, but I think he personally had a great season with Porto. I think he finished as one of Porto's top goal scorers. He was Porto's best player, hands down, a team that almost chased us down to first place. Of course, it's not the Porto of the last 2 years, don't get me wrong, but he still had a really good season. I think he still deserved the call-up. And honestly, that's only if we're playing if we're not playing Moutinho, I would have Sergio Oliveira. If not, then either Bruno. I would love Pot in the middle to play that Bruno position instead as well. I think there's so many solutions in this team that it's boring. I don't even want to say boring. It's too pragmatic to go with Moutinho. We're too good of a squad to be too afraid to play a France who they're good World Cup champions. All the respect to them, and we have to respect them. But come on, we still have a good enough team that we can face them olhos a olhos.
Split the shift. I mean, I think I think Fernando Santos realized, Moutinho já deu o que tinha a dar. And then
for sure.
And it was like minute 65 or 70 when he substituted him, and I was like, okay, at least now he's reading the game, which is good. Yeah. He's awake. So that was good, because João Moutinho, like you said and what I said, he's not going to last 90 minutes.
No. Exactly. And honestly, if we ever do play Danilo again, it has to be his third center back to me, because that was his better position. I think definitely at PSG this season he played better he played more as a center back, and he played better as a center back. And I've been yelling for years to play him as a center back in Portugal, alongside Pep when we were so thin in terms of center backs. So if he does ever come back into the lineup, hopefully it's at center back. I can't really think of anything else that happened in this game. Let's I guess move on to Belgium. Sam, give me your 11 that you would do for Belgium.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the same back line as today, unless Semedo's injured. Then we'll put Dalot in there. So I think that will be it for me. Midfield, I'm personally going to go with Palhinha and then Renato, and I'm actually going to keep Moutinho in, because I actually thought you could say he can last only 60 minutes, but I feel like the 60 minutes he does last, his quality, he's calm. So I think with the young players, with Palhinha and Renato, you do need to have that experienced voice in midfield. And we know Moutinho is good friends with Ronaldo. Ronaldo likes him, and I think that does bode well for us. And up top, I'm going to go with Bernardo. And I think maybe I personally would like to see Felix, because Belgium centre backs are quite slow. The Tongans up there Alderweireld is a good defender still for Tottenham, but he's also lacking in pace. And if Vermaelen plays as well, also a slow person. But I think Steph nailed it when you've got to play for the team, not for yourself, and he has to come back and defend. But also, I think I'd swap it up. Maybe Andre Silva. I feel like Benzema today was so good in that sort of role. France have so many strikers, but Mbappe plays as the winger as well. Griezmann plays as well. They're all good strikers. And I feel like the more attacking threats we have on the pitch, the better we're going to be, because it's pretty much just everything on Ronaldo at the moment. And he's 36, and you saw this game. He was tired, and I don't blame him at all. I feel like maybe getting Andre Silva on will sort of take the load off him. So for me, you know what, I'm gonna retract my statement. I'm gonna say Andre Silva, Ronaldo, Bernardo.
I would make one change. It wouldn't be for the full 90 minutes unless he was playing well from the get-go. But if João Felix is questionable because of his physical abilities, then I would forward the idea of putting Potts. Why not put a player that's extremely motivated, was just champion of Portugal, and scored 23 goals? Está com fome de bola, and he wants to show the whole world he's a great player. This is the kind of player that coaches love to have, because they want to prove it to everybody. I'm good, and I want everybody to know I'm good. So the Belgium game would be perfect to put Potts. Perfect.
I agree.
Give him 45 minutes, and if he doesn't pin in, then replace him with João Felix if he's good to go. I don't know what's going on. It might be a physical condition.
Maybe. I don't think it's right now. I think it's both him and Nunes that are injured. I don't know if you guys heard that. I'm cutting in and out. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. It's got to be a Chinese hacker.
How about now? You hear me now? Am I good? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
My internet's a mess. I was saying, I don't know. I don't think he made the bench today, but I think it's him and Nunes. They're both.
No, he didn't make the bench.
They're both injured. Exactly. But I agree with you. Why not play Pot? And on top of all of that, what you're saying, it's somebody relatively unknown. The Belgians won't be ready for this. They won't be expecting a Pot to come in. And two, nobody, and if I'm not mistaken, no Belgian player in that team has played against Pot. What's up, bro? I think you're back now. Or you're not, like you're finally in.
What up, boys?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Chris?
Just drop
Chris.
in. All right, I think it's working
Give
now.
us, yeah, you're good. You're good. Give us your what would you have against Belgium?
My what against Belgium?
Your 11 against Belgium.
11 against Belgium?
Maybe from today.
So I probably would keep the back line as it is. I don't know if Danilo has a concussion or not. I feel like he probably does, but that's fine because we could start Palhinha. He actually got some burn today, so I know Fernando Santos at least like trusts him enough to put him in the game. Unlike Pot, who he clearly doesn't even trust enough to like have as an option. So yeah, I'll go Palhinha. Maybe more success with Bruno through the middle. Because I think Renato, Bruno, and Palhinha could be a pretty good midfield. And then front three, Ronaldo, Jota. I don't want to start Bernardo. I don't really think he's done enough to keep his place. But like, there's not that many other great options. Rafa, I don't know. I think Rafa's probably better off the bench because he's like pacey against tired legs. So yeah, I guess I'll just keep the front three as well.
I was even saying if Felix is available, though he's probably injured. What would instead of Bernardo or Jota?
Yeah, maybe I would replace Bernardo rather than Jota. I mean, they've both been pretty average, I would say, but Bernardo's pissed me off more times than Jota has.
Agreed. What were your overall thoughts about the France game? I have really nothing else to talk about, and then we can move on to get to Sporting things.
Like, I mean, I was going through it for certain stages of it. I mean, I didn't even pull up the Hungary game until like the 50th minute, because after Benzema scored, I was like, all right, so we're going to have to watch this now because we might not take care of business ourselves here. And then just to see the Hungarian score literally 10 seconds after the Germans scored was just like such a gut punch again, because I thought we were going to be good no matter what. So, yeah, I mean, the Germans didn't score until like the 85th minute. So, like, just knowing that we're one counterattack away from being completely out did not make me feel safe or secure in any way, even though the game probably in like the 83rd minute, both teams kind of drew the non-aggression pact and just kind of like agreed to tie, because for both teams the tie was fine. It was funny though. I don't know if anyone else caught it. Fernando started freaking out in like the 93rd minute, because I think he realized that the Germans were probably going to be safe and that they were about to play Belgium if the result stood. So he's like trying to call off the non-aggression pact and like tell them to go for it. But it's like, dude, the game's been dead for 10 minutes. It's the 93rd minute of +4. Like, there's nothing going to get started right now. So, yeah, that was that. I mean, that tells you about what Fernando Santos was thinking about Belgium, was he's trying to avoid playing them in the 93rd minute. So, yeah, it's a tough draw. It's a tough side of the bracket. You're going to have to go through Italy, Belgium, and France again probably to reach the final. We got on the easy side in 2016, so I guess it's only right that we end up on the hard side this year. But yeah, I mean, I thought we at least deserved the draw. I mean, if we literally played like that against Germany, we potentially could have won, would have at least drawn. Definitely would not have gotten battered. Which is, and if we didn't get battered, then we wouldn't be playing Belgium right now. So, I mean, let's just hope we're in for Fernando Santos masterclass.
Facts. All right. That's Euro talk. We'll get back to predictions towards the end of the podcast. Let's turn a bit more to Sporting. Before passing it off to Sam and the transfer rumors. Let's start with the clear renovations happening at Stadio Avalad. It's looking like a playa. All sandy right now, changing our grass. The green benches are finally coming in, but the renovations they're saying the completion is going to be like 2022, beginning of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And the tiles outside the stadium completely falling down. Guys, Steph, I'll start with you. Are we renovating that side with the tiles coming down? Is that just a precaution because our stadium's slowly falling down and deteriorating? Thoughts on that and thoughts on this new look Sporting?
I personally like it. I think they should remove every single goddamn tile. I never liked it. It looks like a
washroom.
I think the tiles that they used are ugly. Like, I think they could have used other tiles and made it look less bad.
I think somebody on Twitter, I forget who it was, but he painted the stadium, photoshopped it with green and white.
I think it was Mundo de Leal.
Yes. Thank you. Mundo Leal. Very good taste. I liked it. It's nice and simple, but that's our Sporting and the big symbol of our lion. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Because that's all we want. Nice and simple. That's our club. Why they got them all different shape, azulejos, parece quarto de banho. I don't like it. So I think it's good. I think a couple more tiles, if it falls into people's heads, it's good. That's the reason why they're removing it. So no, it's good. It's good. The chairs, it's looking amazing. I mean, everyone is questioning. There's always or dois parvos. They say, por que não mudar as cadeiras? It looks good. Nobody ever questioned Benfica Stadium. It's so red. Nobody ever questioned Porto Stadium. It's so blue. So why can't we have all goddamn green? For God's sake,
Better sell it out.
Yeah, I mean, with the symbol of the line. Remember the old stadium?
6,000 person nights for the Taça da Liga look much better with the rainbow.
Yeah. Remember the old stadium, which we had the big lion with white chairs? Remember? And he said "Telecel," something like that. And I loved it. So
much better. Same.
Yeah, actually.
I don't know who the hell's complaining about the fucking rainbow seats. Who likes the rainbow seats more than the solid?
My
green?
question is you know how there's like a green squiggle that goes through the rainbow? Are they replacing those green ones too? Or like, is there going to be like an off shade of green doing the wave through the seats? You know?
From the pictures I've noticed, it's like gone all the way up until then, and then that's where they like stop.
It's kind of tough to tell, yeah, because from the sections that they've done, it's tough to tell.
Yeah.
Maybe
above they'll put white seats a bit or something. Maybe like Steph was saying, they'll put some sort of
sponsor into the seats.
or something. Yeah, sponsor's tough because I feel like we change sponsors every fucking 5 years. So
yeah,
you know.
Just put Julian Rompent. Yeah, that's what they should do.
But
we'll find out. I mean, when it's done, we'll know for sure.
Facts. And Sam, last thing I'm going to ask you before passing it to you, I'm going to ask all of you guys basically the announcement of Nike shirts pre-sale. You don't know what the fuck they look like. You're just dropping 89.99 euros. You're shutting the fuck up, and you're getting these fucking jerseys. Thoughts on that? And how excited are you for these Nike kits?
I mean, I'm excited, but there's no way I'm paying before I see the kit. Like, I mean, it's pretty hard to get the home kit wrong, but like,
it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be very basic, like just like standard, like the shit that they're doing with Barcelona kit. That's only because they've done 14 years of stripes. It's like they're not gonna do some bizarro thing in like year 1. That's like the shit they do in year like 7 when they run out of ideas. So I'm thinking it'll be pretty standard. And I'm thinking the away will be pretty standard too, just like a solid color. But you never know.
As well, I think I'm going to wait until we've made some more signings, because I think with the names that are coming through there potentially, we can have some pretty nice looking shirts with. I personally would like to get Marcus Edwards if he comes on the back. I feel like that would be a nice touch. But if you have the money to spend, then I'm not going to judge you. But I wouldn't. I'm not going to do that, I'm afraid.
1,000 people have done it. At least. Probably more today did it.
The site was like, what do I call it? Crashed. That site was down for like a while.
Doesn't take much to bring that shit down.
There's like 3 people. It's gone.
Yeah, you've got like 3 digits. I got 100 people on there. That shit's going down.
Yeah, they sold like 1,000 jerseys in 24 hours. Or in 1 hour or something like that. So,
facts. I'm not judging you guys, but I'm calling you guys hype beasts. Is all I'm saying.
I think it's a great initiative. Actually.
I think it's a good initiative too. If there was more concrete benefits, for me, as someone who lives in the U.S., like the main benefit is this will be at your door the day it comes out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something like.
They can't guarantee that. It won't be at my door. It's not going to be at my door July 1st.
Not even to Sam. I don't think they can guarantee it to the UK.
Yeah.
Maybe by the 27th, maybe. But,
I mean,
I was
it doesn't really make sense for any of us to do it.
I was thinking more along those lines, like when you said more benefits, like if you buy this jersey, you'll get a blowjob for free or something.
Or a greater discount, or something. You get a free hat.
They would have sold like 60,000 jerseys.
You gotta blindly trust who's giving it to you, right?
Yeah,
you blindly trust the jersey, and you blindly trust the blowjob.
You stick it in the hole in there. Okay.
But I personally, I kind of think it's boring. Just buy it. It's kind of boring. It's kind of like, what the fuck is that? Their slogan is just do it, not just buy it. Just buy it kind of seems like fucking I have a gun to my head, bro. Like fucking got tired of shit. That's how somebody was trying to sell me some like stock the other day. They were just saying just buy it, bro. Like I don't know about all that, bro. Like
this will pay for itself. Just buy it.
Yeah. No, it's a kit though. But anyway, Sam, take away the transfer rumors, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's not like any massive ones at the moment. There's a few sort of like minor ones which I'll start off with, and then I'll get your guys' opinion on the sort of bigger ones. So, firstly, we have, and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, Sivasspor in Turkey, interested in Eduardo Enrique. Sporting apparently looking for 3 million of his pass. And I think Chris was the one tweeted good luck with that, which is very true.
On and off player on the team that finished in the basement of Serie A last season.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting.
Good luck. But yeah, a man who has been, I think he's got us a lot of views on our Twitter page, Valentin Rossier. Whenever we link in with someone, we get the Turkish guys always retweeting and asking us questions, which we appreciate. We do. Linked to Lazio and Celtic now, which adds to Marseille, Besiktas, Fenerbahce, and probably some other teams here and there as well.
Those are the main ones.
Yeah. Next one, after 7 years at Sporting, Dior Souza is rescinding his contract. It was also linked to Antalyaspor in Turkey. Never made a first team appearance and was in the team of under 23s, apparently underperforming as well. This is the big one I wanted to get your opinion on. Daniel Vass? Daniel Vass? I don't know how to actually pronounce the name. Just seems to be a done deal for £2 million from Valencia, former Benfica player. I don't know if you guys watch him, but Chris, do you have any opinions on this?
He seems like a good signing. He's been at the Euros as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with Denmark.
Yeah, he's been playing right back for them, I think.
34 years old.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a utility guy, which is a right back center mid. That's basically what Nanteas Nunes was pretending to be last year, right? So that's basically what this guy actually is. So I don't see a problem. It's a good team. Seems like a relatively good price too.
Yeah, definitely.
Our guy George hooked us up with a discount on that one. Appreciate it, brother.
From Valencia too, right?
Yeah, of course.
We'll pay later with hidden fees. You'll see.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and his salary is just gonna be forty feyu, I think.
He's gonna have a fat salary. Yeah,
that's my only worry about him.
That's what they've been negotiating for, like 10. Because what's the original report was like a week ago, I think that. Mm-hmm. So like the only thing they've been discussing is salary, like during that time, presumably. Like the fee is agreed on between Sporting and Valencia.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, the next one is actually someone leaving. Jovan is apparently getting momentum to leave. Amorim wants him to stay, but if he gets up to 20 million euros, it could change his mind. Watford, West Ham, and Leeds are said to be interested, and that's from records, so pretty reliable when it comes to that. Danny, what do you think of Jovan leaving? 20 million, is that good? Would you ask for more?
No, I think from the performances he did, mostly coming off the bench, most of them having impact, some of them, not really. I think 20 mil is actually a fairly good price for him, especially seeing if Mateus Nunes ends up going to Everton for 18 and he's had a bigger impact. I think 20 mil for Jovan isn't bad. Honestly, I've been calling for at least maybe a year and a half now on this podcast that Jovan is leaving the next transfer window for 15. So if he finally does leave and it's for 20, I can't complain too much about it. I think it's a good price. What Steph said with Voss is the same thing I'm wondering with Jovan, how many hidden agent fees will be behind it. But I don't think he's a judgment player, so maybe not so much. So I think it's a good price. I can't complain about that.
And not linked to Wolves, thank God. So we don't have to deal with them again. Chris, think you muted.
He might not be a George Men's player, but if he's coming from Valencia, you know that he's somehow involved.
Wait, but who's Jovan's linked to Watford and Valencia? Or
Watford? No, I was talking
teams?
about Was. I was talking about Was.
Oh. Yeah.
Watford, Leeds, and West Ham are the three teams, apparently.
Leeds and West Ham. I would love to see him at Leeds, actually, taking over for if Rafinha ends up leaving to... He was linked to like Liverpool and Man U at one point. If he ends up leaving and Jovan replaces him, Leeds might become my second favorite team in England. Not gonna lie.
Fair enough. Next one.
Playing as many games as Rafinha played.
Yeah.
He also loved them. And he's glass ankles too.
Steph, I want to get your opinion on this one. Abola say the deal for Ricardo Esgaio was still on the table and that Amory won't drop him from his plans. Do you think it's time to give up on Esgaio, or do you think we should still go for it?
I think Sporting has gotten a lot smarter making deals. I don't see the need to rush anything. Abola record you joke they have to sell newspapers. So for them, chaos.
Ball specifically, they must be running low or something because they just pull rumors out of their ass at this point.
Yeah. So for them to create chaos and uncertainty among the fans, it's El Prato Dia. It's what they live for. But I would love to see Esgaio back just because he's a player that's played in the Portuguese league for so many years and he understands the culture of Sporting. And he would just be a totally good fit. He knows the coach. He knows the coaching staff. He knows the whole club. And he came from our youth. He would be an extremely good fit. I wouldn't drop him yet. But I think it's just Sporting being more conscientious about the negotiations, even with João Mario. So,
well, if we do sign Was, I mean, wouldn't that be naturally the end of Esgaio? Unless they see him as predominantly a midfielder, which would be strange.
Or unless we sell somebody else.
Unless Poro's not coming back and they know something we don't know.
Or unless we buy him and we sell him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of those catches activate the clause.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah. See what I mean?
I can't see that happening though. Because Porto's back already at the academy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe January, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like he'll start the season with us.
He had an injury. That's why he came back a little bit earlier. But I could see Sporting being sneaky. It's all about money, guys. So if we could buy Porto for 8.5 from Manchester City and then we sell him for 20 million, hey, that's a good deal in my book.
Yeah, facts. Chris, this one is specifically for you as well. Ojogo say Sporting are still in talks with Inter for João Mario. I think you tweeted the original offer, 3.5 million euros was offered to Inter plus bonuses. What do you think about this deal? And do you think we should still go for it? And do you think Inter will go for it as well?
I think we should just sit back and do what we're doing. Because, I mean, Inter has the threat of like, oh, yeah, well, if you don't pay us, we'll find someone who will. But it's like, do they actually have clubs that will? If Villarreal wants to actually pay 7.5 million for João Mario, I mean, good for them. Go for it, boys. But if a month passes and he's still not sold, I mean, that tells me that you don't have these teams that are like so eager to get in on him. And then that's when the price starts dropping again. So, I mean, if we could get him for 5 or under, I mean, it's not so bad. Like 4.5, like in the range of what we proposed, maybe a little bit more. Because, like, yeah, there's no point in rushing, right? I mean, if Villarreal is that interested and they want to pay, then, I mean, right, there's nothing we can do. But if they're that insistent on him, then I guess this is the right strategy to just kind of just bide your time and stay, like, involved, you know. Like, keep talking to them. Hey, any, how's it going? Any new offers on Juan today? No? Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with everything you said. I do find it weird how it's like record saying deals on ice, Abola saying still negotiations, Ojogo saying a bit of both. I mean, we're going to find out when we see the picture of him probably shaking Randis' hand.
Well, I mean, you would think that that's what he wants to do, right? Which would, like, at the end of the day, to get the deal done, the player needs to sign the contract. And if he really doesn't want to, then he won't. But you would think Juan, Sporting's his priority. But you would, like, how much does Juan prefer Sporting to Villarreal, for example? Like, will he refuse to sign for Villarreal and complicate it that much more, or will he, you know, accept it, you know, if they pay?
That's what I was thinking as well. Especially he said that he wants to get back into the national team. Is he going to be more watched at like a Nice or a Villarreal than Sporting? Probably, but. I mean, I'm not sure at the moment. I mean, he's up there in age. He's not the youngest. He's not the oldest as well. But I mean, I could see it go another way. And to be honest, I wouldn't I wouldn't dislike him for going to Iniesta Villarreal because he won us the title. There's nothing much to give. We've got good young players coming through. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, I don't think. And 2 more to go. One I'm just going to skip over. Battaglia wants to stay in Europe. Said it's down to Sporting, and they will have conversation next few days. Linked to Greece in, I think it's Panathinaikos and Olympiakos. Don't really care about him. He can go wherever he wants. So we'll just skip over that. And Bruno Paz, I think, is it Paz? Pash?
Peace.
Bruno Peace.
Bruno Peace is apparently leaving Sporting. In conversation with Estoril and Morientes, a repurchase clause or percentage of a next contract will be included. I'm not sure who's more familiar with the B team and the under-23s. Does anyone have any sort of opinions on this? I know he had a pretty big injury.
It's a damn shame. Feels like he was always close, Then he got hurt. He had a good season last year, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you're 23. Get the fuck out of here, go have a good career,
Yes and no. If you can loan him at least, I think, because he did have a really good start. He did have a good season last season.
He was the captain.
Third division, though. That's the only problem. Yeah, he is the captain. He scored some good goals from CDM. Like you said, if he didn't tear his ACL, I think he would have already been in the squad already. It was just unfortunate timing when he did, and then it went downhill from there. But if he does go, I hope it's.
This is at a time when we really had no true 6 on the roster either.
Exactly. So it's when we just shipped off. Sorry, we just shipped off. Or Sousa Sintra just shipped off Pelinha to a 2-year loan. Erasmus in Braga, so we were basically stuck with Goudelli, Whereas if he didn't tear his ACL, it would have been. I think personally, it would have been Paj, but it's unfortunate. But I think a loan would be better. I just don't know how long his contract is for. But.
I don't. Sporting has done that. The problem with Bruno Paj, he brings a lot of problems as far as off the field. So that's why. And the administration, they had enough. So it's
his contract till 2023.
Yeah,
it's 2 more years.
They're gonna cut him loose and and retain a portion of the deal, future sale, something like that. But let's be realistic. Sporting and not even Benfica, Porto, and most clubs across the world, you can keep every single player. It's impossible. Some of them you'll have to cut them loose. Sure. And the smart move, like Bruno Moreira, the one who went to Vizela, we kept 50% of his pass, but we had to let him go. He looks like he's a decent player, but Ruben Amorim can only accommodate X amount of players. So what are we going to do? A C team for this?
Yeah. I only have one more thing, but it's not really a transfer story. It comes from former coach Lazio. I'm going to pronounce this as wrongly as well. Is it Bologna? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Laszlo Bologna. Yeah.
Recalled in an interview with a French newspaper saying that Pepe, before joining Porto, was on trial at Sporting. We've all seen the pictures of Ronaldo and them training together. He said, Pepe came to see me in my office and begged me because he wanted to stay. It was terrible to tell him to pack his bags. And I thought that was just a nice story. So that's it from me.
Lonnie, he did so many good things for Sporting, but he also fucked us over so many good times too, man.
Yeah.
It's just, let me just quickly, just because I love that picture, man.
Nah, it happened.
What could have been, guys?
Yeah, look at Jorge Jesus. He screwed Bernardo Silva. And he's a phenomenal player. Yeah. So,
true.
It happened, yeah.
Yeah, but Jorge Jesus has a record of that, though, too. And he brought me no happiness, if anything. All right. That's it with transfer moves, right? That's basically all we have. Steph, I'm passing it off to you. Another championship in our museum for what is an incredible season. I think this is Sporting's best season, or it ties one of Bruno Carvalho's best seasons. The only difference is we've, of course, champions in soccer or football. So take it away, Steph.
Yeah, so what a phenomenal and a way to end the season, which the season, never ends at Sporting Clube de Portugal, because if we take into account we still have the youth playing, the different tournaments, and we still have our ladies in hockey. They reached the final against Benfica. that's still playing next week. So there's a lot of stuff going on still. But the most important titles from the senior team, congratulations to our Joaquim Patins. They went to Caixa Dragão. They won 6-5. I watched the whole game, and I got to tell you, I'm going to give you two names so you could actually write it down. You can engrave it to your mind. Joaquim Pinto and Miguel Guilherme, the two referees of that game, they suck. They should never be allowed to be referees in Joaquim Patins. They were a disgrace for such a great game. Two great teams. The Portuguese league is considered the best league in Joaquim Patins. We have the best players, almost all the best players in the world. Some of them are in Spain and a few in Italy. But we are the top league. Second, it's Spain, and then third, it's Italy. So both teams play phenomenal hockey. And then those two gentlemen, they messed up the whole game. But we pulled it off. Sporting Porto got some bad calls, but we got the most. Up to a PK with 8 seconds left. 8 seconds left. And Girão Muralha saved the day. And then we won the title no Dragão Caixa, which gave me a lot of pleasure. All due respect, Patrick. But winning at away in the pavilion of our opponents, it's always a good feeling. Porto was amazing as a host. They pulled off the podium and the Faixa de Campeão. They were, they were not jerk-offs about that. Just like
they weren't threatening to abandon the sport.
Well,
and breaking the trophy before its presentation.
Maybe later. Yeah. Who the fuck knows? They might change their mind. But that was the 9th title won by Sporting Clube de Portugal and Joaquim Patins. So congratulations to them. And just to really quick recap, I promise you it'll take less than 2 minutes. Today we won the second league of the ladies' second division. So they won today. So we became champions of Portugal for the second league, the ladies. And the under 20 track and field boys, they became champions of Portugal. So that's also a total of 31 titles altogether. That's how many titles we've won as a club this year. 31 titles. 31. It's a lot of titles, and really fast. In football, Campeão Nacional, Taça da Liga. Ténis de Mesa, Campeão Nacional, Super Cup. Goalball, Champions of Portugal. Futsal, we all know. Champions of Portugal, Cup League, Taça de Portugal. I don't know why people don't mention it. It was won in December in season 2020. And the UEFA Championship. Rugby, 15. The ladies won on the 7th. The ladies won 15 players and 7 players. Different leagues. Champions of Portugal. And the Super Cup, the ladies won. Basketball, we won the championship and 2 Portuguese Cups back to back. I don't know if you guys remember that. Okay. Track and field, ladies and gentlemen, won in Cortamat, which is outdoors, and indoors. So that's 4 titles alone from track and field. Joaquim Patins, rink hockey, we won in Campeões Nacionais and Campeões Europeus. Volleyball, Taça de Portugal, and then the ladies, Taça de Federação, which I don't really count that one. Futebol de praia, beach soccer, we won. And then our judo, Campeão Mundial, Jorge Fonseca. And then we had Nico Zol, I can't say her last name, it's too long, Campeão do Mundo in 90 kilos and under. Patrícia Mamona, she won in triple salto. Europeu and national. In peso, Aurólio, she won in pista coberta. And then last but not least, in surfing, Teresa, she won in Campeonato Nacional. So there it is. So this is why my boys, you are Sportinguises, because we're much more than just a football club. We are modalities, and we strive, and we're proud of it. And, I try to cultivate that in you. If you didn't grow up with that, you have to. Every time you see sports with our jersey, tem que ser importante. Nem que seja o prega, a malha, o caralho.
Agreed. Steph, I actually want to ask you one quick question because me and Chris were actually talking about it the last podcast, but I want to pick your brain about it. And it has to do with football femenina. Of course, that's one thing you did not mention because I don't think we won did we win a title for football femenina? We didn't this year. Exactly.
We lost a League Cup that Taça Portugal never happened. It was cancelled.
What do you make of this mass exodus of happening? Not so much the coach, because I think we can all agree, even me as like a casual watcher, the coach wasn't up to par, but the losing of the Serbian captain, our Carolyn Baldwin, Ines Pereira leaving, 9 players, exactly. Ana Capeta. What are your thoughts on this mass exodus, and are you worried about our season next season, or are you maybe waiting to see what more we do, or what are your thoughts on all of that?
That's a good question, and actually, it wasn't only Sporting Braga. Also, they offloaded, I think, 7 players. They had a good signing.
I was going to say they just signed a world champion. Christian was actually he sent it to me not that long ago.
But when you hear what she said, her interview was like, I'm 34. I'm going to bring a lot of experience to Portugal and the Braga team, meaning that she's not going to play that much. Basically, that's kind of the hint she was giving. It's kind of a vacation spot for her. It's like those players coming to the MLS, because our league is considered, three notches down from the French, German league and English league. We're not there yet in the female league, but we're trying to get there. But this is why, and I'll link it together. The Sporting players left, and the Braga players left, and the few Benfica players left, because they realize it's time for me to embrace a different adventure, a different league, a more competitive league, and those players at Sporting, they hit the ceiling. They said, okay, I've done everything I was supposed to do in the Portuguese league with Sporting. Now I'm gonna go elsewhere, and most of them are going overseas. They're not going to Benfica. They're not going to Braga. They're going overseas, and I respect that, because it's not every day that our players get a phone call, say, "Hey, you want to play in Switzerland? You want to play in Germany? You want to play in France?" It's very rare. Or in Diane Silva, she was playing at Tottenham, and now she came back. But at least she had that 1 year of experience of how to play with English players, which is much more developed. The way they play at faster pace. And she struggled, and she came back. So let's see how Inês does, how Tatiana does it. And it's also more money. Our Portuguese clubs, they're not going to invest a lot of money in the ladies' club teams. But I don't blame Inês Pereira, Patricia, Tatiana,
Capeta.
Caroline Bolin. She was going to be cut anyway. She was not going to stay. I mean, she hardly played. But I get it. These players, they want to try something else, and I applaud them for that. Who will benefit from this? The national team. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the game against the USA. We only lost
it's
1-0.
Already benefited from it in the last 4 years. The team, the ladies team was nothing, and now they almost qualify. They're always in the.
Yeah, they're at least
competing.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah.
They were nothing.
They're at least competing with. Isn't the States the best team in the world?
Yeah, they've only lost by 1 goal multiple times to the US.
They lost by 1 goal, but the US they were pacing themselves, and they had 20 substitutions. I mean, the US
team.
Yeah,
the best team.
That is the best team.
The US missed I think 10 goals. I mean, I watched the whole game, and I don't even know why I watched it, but I was interested. And the US those ladies, they were like, whatever, we just play for fun,
Yeah.
I mean, we were winning against Nigeria 3-1, and we tied up. We let them tie up 3-3. Yeah, but but that's why they left. And I just told you, we became champions of the second league, so a lot of those players will be promoted to the first league, to the first team. So I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, will Benfica most likely be champion because they haven't sold many? Possibly, but I trust Cabral, our new coach. Let's see what she can come up with. So, A ver, vemos, como diz o outro, meu amigo.
Sounds good. All right. End of the podcast. I said I'd bring it back to predictions. And exactly as we're doing. Sunday, 3 p.m. our time, 8 p.m. GMT time. Portugal plays Belgium. Do we know where? Does it say where?
Sevilla.
Yes,
finally
yes.
closer to home.
Home.
Which is good, better. At least we're not playing the fucking, we're not playing Germany in Germany. We're not playing Hungary in Hungary, So that's at least a good sign. I'm gonna actually be optimistic. I'll go first. I'm gonna say a 1-1 draw, and we shithouse our way to a penalty shootout victory. I don't know about you guys, but
there's no way we're winning in 90 minutes.
No way at all. Come on, man. We have Luigi Nato in the coaching our team, bro. No way. Sam, take it away, dude. What's your prediction?
The thing is, it's either going to be one of them that is like we're going to win by a lot, or we're just going to shithouse our way to it. There's no sort of in between, I feel. But the good thing is that Belgium aren't looking at us and going, "Oh, what an easy draw." They're probably thinking the same as we are thinking right now. So it's sort of a good thing. But for me, I'm going to go. I think it'll be 2-0 Portugal. I don't think Belgium's defense can handle Ronaldo and our attack. So yeah, 2-0 to us.
I do think Belgium's a bit overrated, to be honest. Like everyone, like sucking off Belgium is like the cool thing to do, or like the easy thing to do.
Good football hipster thing to do.
It's like the
Belgium.
cool, easy, the safe thing to do. But I mean, they didn't really have to play any hard teams yet, so.
That's true. That's true too. But we can say the same about Italy, and I think Italy looks scary, man.
Well,
they also have
probably.
They haven't played enough like good teams either.
I'm gonna say 1-1 on PKs. Because if we score, like he's gonna park the bus.
Like he's gonna park the bus from minute one.
Yeah, he's gonna park the bus
too.
from minute one, and then if we somehow score while we're parked, then it's like, yeah.
Yeah, facts.
I don't know. Like,
you,
I'm not so. I mean, I'm not so worried about them. Like, yeah, obviously they're good, but like, it's not like we're playing fucking some we're playing a team that's so much better than us and so much better than every other team. Like, people were talking about them literally at the last tournament too, and then they just crashed out in like the first knockout game. Like, what was it? Was it the World Cup?
The World Cup, they finished third. I think it was the Euros before.
It was the Euros before. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, they haven't proved shit. Basically, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And let's not be like the team that they start to prove themselves against.
We might be though. I'm telling you now.
If they just come out and just destroy us, bro, like they're gonna win the whole thing, probably.
But we need to prove something as well. So it's sort of like both teams need to prove that they can actually like go. So I think this
game against France was respectable. The game against Hungary was sus as fuck up outside of like 10 minutes. The game against Germany was horrible, and then this game against France was good. So
yeah. How about you, Steph?
I think I'm going to be the only one that's going to be totally optimistic. 3-2 Portugal.
Rest in peace, Ali Day. If we score 3 goals, there's no way Ronaldo isn't scoring one of them.
Yeah, exactly. 3-2 hat trick. No, 2 goals from Ronaldo and the winning goal by Pedrinho.
Oh baby. Yeah, you remember? Obviously, we all saw the run, right? And then he ended up with the ball, and then I thought he was gonna try to play it to Jota, and then he waited too long, and then I was like, "This is his chance for the banger," and he didn't have it in him.
The banger we've been calling for all season was about to happen. Nope.
It was a field goal. Holy
he did not really even fully want to shoot that himself. Nah. That's why it wasn't that great.
Hey Danny, let's take it a step further. Let's call out the other games and all the way to the final.
Like
So Sam, I'll start with you. Italy, Australia. Austria.
It's like Azerbaijan in the Euros too.
I see Italy storming through. Probably another 3-0 for them, I think.
Yeah, the white power boys stand no chance.
Yeah. Okay, Danny, France, Switzerland.
Yeah, I don't think Switzerland has a chance either. They've been garbage. I'm saying 3-0 France.
Okay,
2-0.
and the Croatia, Spain. Chris.
Honestly, both of these teams have been incredibly underwhelming. I'm gonna say Croatia though, because I mean Spain put in a good performance today,
Me
but
too.
they were aided by
You too?
shittiness.
You too, Sam?
I'm saying Let me just say I'm saying Croatia because my neighbor behind me is fucking Croatian and he has fucking flags. His whole car is fucking decked out. When they lost against England, I heard
That's
from
not
here.
a good reason.
Listen, I heard from here
I say
Raheem
Croatia because
Sterling,
my name is from Croatia.
when Sterling scored the goal, I heard from here the passion, the pissed off voice. I'm pulling for him, bro. Pulling for him.
But the way you said, I'm going to say Croatia because my neighbor who's got flags is from Croatia. That's fine.
No, and Spain, like Chris said, Spain looks shit.
I don't know. Hey, they need to score more goals. So let's assume that in that bracket, we have France against Croatia because, I can't believe you guys put Croatia. And then Italy against Portugal. Who moves on to the semifinals? Danny.
So Portugal, Italy. Let me just say the first victim will be half the population in Toronto because that's a war that's been ready to happen. I don't know if you guys have the same beef where you're from, but here in Toronto, the beef between Portuguese people and Italians are unreal. Even though we probably get along in Europe, but here, unreal. Like there's actually been deaths in other World Cups.
Wow.
So the first person, I swear to God. So the first person to lose is Toronto's population. Second, I'm gonna say I think Italy lose that game because, like we've been mentioning, I like Italy though too. I think Italy looks scary good, but they haven't played against top opposition, and I can see Portugal containing them and then hitting them on the counter. So I think Portugal will beat them.
So you have Portugal going, and then what about the other one?
And then France beating Croatia. Repeat of the World Cup finals, by the way.
Okay, and then who reaches the final?
Between Portugal, France, I'll continue the optimism. I'll say Portugal.
Okay, Sam, take it away.
I just want to swap one of my teams. I think Spain will beat Croatia. Spain look angry right now. They demolished Slovakia. I think,
yeah. They played well.
With the help of the Slovakian keeper, though.
Yeah, true.
Guy slapped it in, bro.
You thought it was volleyball. I don't know.
Yeah.
He should be investigated for match fixing for that
one. I'm gonna go. So is it Spain? Who they face if they beat? I think France for me that one. So France to beat Spain, and then honestly, Italy have looked so good, and I think they've looked so much better than Portugal have. You could say that Italy haven't had that many tough teams, but are Hungary really a greater team than any of the Italy teams have played? I think Italy, if it comes to that, Italy will beat us. I think they're too much. As much as I'd love us to win, they look fantastic. So I think I'm going to go with Italy to beat us. And then Italy, France, give me Italy as well. And I think Italy make it to the final.
Okay, Chris, take it away.
So I have Italy, Portugal, and France, Croatia. And then Portugal versus France, and then Portugal. And then the other side, Sweden, Ukraine. I'll roll Sweden. England, Germany. England. Netherlands, Czech Republic. Wales, Denmark. Denmark, Czech Republic. Fuck it. Throwback Euro 2004 Milan Baros, Jan Koller squad. Czech going back to the semis.
Jeez.
Dude, all they got to do is beat the fucking Netherlands and Denmark. That's a path to the semis I would take.
Yeah.
I don't have them beating Netherlands, but fair. Good shout. They've been good.
I've been relatively impressed.
Same.
And then I guess so England versus Sweden then. That is that game at Wembley, or is it only the semi that's at Wembley?
It's at Wembley as well. I believe.
Okay, so that's such a fucking.
I think they play every
advantage.
single game in Wembley.
That's a joke.
That's a straight joke. So they'll fucking win that because of that. At least it's not. At least it's not full capacity. If it was full capacity, then it would really be an insane.
I think they are moving it.
I actually saw a thing that they were upping the capacity, right?
I think it might be. I don't know how much Wembley holds, but I think it's 60. They're having 60,000 from round 16 onwards. I'm pretty sure.
Is that like in line with any UK COVID regulations?
No, none at all. At the moment, it's supposed to be less than. I think it's half, but they've just said fuck it.
It's like actually, England could win the Euro, so we're gonna just pack everyone in here. It's a national service to go in here right now into this packed stadium.
Well, we were supposed to be open on the 21st of June.
Yeah.
But apparently, in the meeting they had to sort of like say it was getting worse again, they used data from like January, so they were looking at the wrong data. So we could have actually been released in June 21st, but instead of saying, we made a mistake, we can be free. It's like, nah, you're gonna have to wait till I think it's the 19th of July. So, oh well.
Classic. So yeah, I guess for that I'll go England, and then so England, Czech. I guess England. I mean, England's gonna roll to the England Portugal final.
Is it coming home, Chris?
England Portugal final at Wembley. PK shootout. Portugal wins that one. England can't win a major tournament in the modern era. It's impossible, even if it's rigged for them to win it, as this appears to be.
Yeah, I agree. So, Danny, what about the other bracket?
Yeah. I have also Sweden beating Ukraine. Sweden's impressed me. I have Germany beating England. England to me have been shite. I have the Netherlands beating Czech. I have Denmark also beating Wales. Then I have Germany beating Sweden. I'll take the Netherlands beating Germany. I don't think the Netherlands. I've liked watching the Netherlands play, and I'm gonna go with a Portugal-Germany final rematch. Vengeance.
Fernando Santos said if they played again, Portugal is guaranteed to win.
Buddy, it's prophecy.
Because he'll mark the wingers this time, because he needed a whole new game to do that. He couldn't have adjusted to that in real time. He needs a whole new game to mark the wingers.
For my side, I'll go. I think Ukraine to beat Sweden. I think Yarmouk is too good at the moment, and Yarmolenko has been quality for Ukraine as well. England to beat Germany, Netherlands to beat Czech, and Wales to beat Denmark. From there, I'll go England to beat Ukraine, and I think Wales to beat Netherlands, and then semi-final England to beat Wales, and then final Italy, England, which goes to Italy.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it coming home, Sam?
No, it's not coming home. But they've got a good team, and they play really defensive. So I think they can make it. It's literally, if they get past Germany, they're in the final to me. But if not, they're out, obviously. But yeah.
I'm just going to fast forward. So Portugal against Denmark, and Portugal wins it.
Denmark.
Yes.
I like that.
I mean, it's not that crazy. I'm looking at that side of the bracket so jealous.
Yeah, and I'm saying Portugal wins it because I am a dual citizen of Portugal as well. But if Denmark wins it altogether,
would love that.
I'll be happy for them too, and you know why? I don't have to say it, right?
For sure.
That's it.
I mean, I can see them making the semis easily. I mean, Wales and either Netherlands or Czech Republic, they can win those two games.
Yeah.
But Italy is looking good.
Wales has a shot in that game.
Italy's balling. They playing so fucking well. They scare me. If we could catch them in the quarterfinals,
we're gonna have to play like the two most informed teams back then.
Yep. Our side of the bracket is horrible. Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, if we beat Belgium, we face Italy. If we beat Italy, we potentially face France or Spain. It's like, what the fuck?
You've got to be the big teams at some point, though. So get out of the way early. Sorted.
No. Literally early. We've been playing the big teams.
Maybe Austria will do us a favor.
Yeah. And maybe Austria will do us a favor. Maybe Switzerland will do us a favor, and Croatia will do us a favor. We shall see.
We definitely shall. All right, boys. Another podcast in the book. Shout out to everybody that joined us today. Next week, though, Twitter question, guys. Don't let us down again, or else. You know where to follow us: Twitter, Sporting160_EN, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Sporting160EN. We'll see you soon. We'll see you probably next week. Força Portugal. Sunday's another must-win game, and what's 3? Oh, at 3:00. Yes. I thought,
No.
Steph, I thought you were doing the Arnautovic sign for a
3-0.
second. There, buddy. I was like, oh, no. 3-0. Força Portugal. And Viva Sporting, of course.